Yeah, perfect. Well, it's a real pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you too.
Yeah, sorry for the delay.
No, no
Um,
worries.
so tell me, we've never met, so just tell me everything. Start from the beginning. I mean, not childhood necessarily, but just
Yeah.
flight school. Yeah, how did you get here?
Yeah, so been working a job before flight school that I just wasn't growing in and always wanted to fly. So at the time, I think it was 2022 is when I started at ATP. Um, you know,
Okay.
I was really wanting to try and pay at like another Part 61 that was close by to my house, but it's so expensive. So went with ATP because they had the loans. They were doing pretty decent loans at the time. So went there. That was in Livermore, California. Started in September 2022, and then finished around about this time last year in March 2023. And yeah, now I'm a jump pilot for NorCal Skydiving and Golden Gate Skydive, and I'm also a contract pilot for SIC positions around the area. So,
That's great. So what are you flying when you're PIC?
so when I'm PIC, or sorry, did you say PIC or SIC?
Yeah, yeah, PIC.
PIC. There's two Cessna 182s I fly for the
Perfect.
skydiver. Yeah,
A great first job,
yeah,
honestly. A 172 with a constant speed prop. Oh, fantastic.
yes, yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a good plane. It's fun.
And you said two companies. Are they related at all, or you're working for two companies?
They're just different names. They're just in different locations, owned by the
Oh,
same guy. Yeah.
gotcha. And so, how many days a week are you flying?
Usually Wednesday through Sunday, weather dependent.
Okay.
And obviously, if people are wanting to jump those days, our busy time is usually Friday through Sunday. So
Okay.
yeah,
So 5 days a week. That's a good clip.
yeah,
And what what kind of hours are you doing each day, or do you have like a limit on how many? And yeah, just tell me everything.
yeah, for sure. So usually, like I said, Friday through Sunday, those are our busy days. During the summer, on average, uh, I clock about like 8 jumps a day, which
Okay.
is about every jump's about half an hour. So do the math on that. So yeah, that's usually Friday through Sunday, and then Thursday and Wednesdays they can kind of be a little bit slower, but they're
Okay.
mostly for what we call fun jumpers. So they're the guys that have their licenses that want to go up and jump, and that's just kind of more of a chill. Like you have to hang out until they want to go up
Right.
and jump the day. So yeah,
Huh. That's good. I mean, on the busy days, you're clocking about 4 hours of flight time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That,
exactly,
that
yeah.
that's good. I mean, that's after four, you start to feel it a bit in terms of fatigue.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. I think the most I did in one day was around about 12. And that I was pretty tired after that day. It was like
That's
from 9 o'clock until we're not allowed to jump at sunset. So it was right up until the point of sunset. So
yeah, that's a long day. What a trip.
yeah.
And how long have you been flying for them?
So I started in August 2023.
Okay.
So yeah,
You've
about
already
six seven
had some
months. Yeah.
summertime. Yes. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And I've always been curious about training because skydiving is really tough on the engines. You're either up and
Mm-hmm.
you're down. So do they talk to you about temperatures and how to get down? We want you to get down. We don't want you to scream it down.
Yeah, absolutely. So we keep it within green line the whole time when we're descending, but when we're climbing, we're keeping that prop full forward. Managing our manifold pressure as we go up to not be over the prop limitation. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just inching that forward as we climb, just to get the max we can. And then, we're doing slow flight once we get over the airport. So that's kind of cooling the engine down a little bit. I pull the throttle back. They need to get out. It's not a huge prop blast for them, but it helps the jumpers when they're getting out. And then, yeah, on the way down, it's mostly, you're putting the prop out, you're pulling the manifold pressure out, carb heat on, and cowl flaps closed, trying to keep that engine as warm as we can while I
Yeah.
descend. and I'm just watching the gauges the whole time, making sure that it's not going into the red on the lower side and all that. So there's a lot to look at for sure.
This is great. First of all, you may have found the only commercial application of slow flight. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah,
And
without doubt.
and there's this argument that you don't build time unless you're instructing and you don't really learn anything out there, which is just nonsense. I mean, engine management is your job. It's
Yeah,
That's one of the big shifts I find going from flight school to the commercial world is now it's not about airspeed, it's all engine management.
yeah,
Those power
absolutely.
settings, and bosses will find out if you're messing with them because it's, the more wear and tear on the prop or a cylinder cracks, boy, bosses don't like cylinders cracking. Boy, I can tell you
No,
that.
no, they don't. No, thankfully haven't had that happen yet. So knock on wood. But
Sounds like it won't if the machine's in your hands. Oh, that's
yeah,
really, really great. And
yeah,
so how did you get this job without instructing? I mean, holy cow, you must have it in somewhere, your dad's friend or something like that.
yeah. I know that's kind of your mo about it. No, just again, I know you interviewed Alexis the last time, and I told him, well, I tell everyone, I was like, I just pestered the heck out of people to try and
You
give me the job. I heard someone call it you being an airport rat, just hanging out, talking to people.
Yes.
That networking cannot be understated at all. It's such a it's a
Uh,
good thing to go and do. So yeah, just kept pestering my boss for God months throughout summer. And finally, his pilot was leaving because he was going on to a jet job. Because that this job is just for a lot of people. Spend a lot of time building, like myself.
yeah.
I love it, and I hope I can continue to do it within my other job. But it's quite it's always fluctuating with pilots. So, um, but yeah, just pestered the heck out of him, and eventually he gave in to me annoying him so much that he let me fly it. So
How often would you go in? This is such an important lesson for everyone watching to learn is that if you're just going to send a resume once, it ain't going to happen.
no,
It's got to be, you got to pester. I mean, how often would you actually bug this guy realistically?
oh God, I mean, easily, once a week. I mean, and maybe
Okay.
sometimes more. I could go back in the text. It probably was more like, hey, like, do you want me to come down and just chill and hang? I was like, and he was like, no, not this week. We're too busy. And then finally, it was just me showing up one day. He told me to come down and just meet everyone and meet the pilot, and it was
There
just a
we
meet and greet,
go.
and that was it. And then went back home, and then there was another meet and greet and getting to know the plane, and it carried on from there. So yeah,
Bosses hire people they know.
yeah,
They don't hire strangers.
nope,
Oh, this is so great to see. I mean, nothing changes in this business. It's been
sure,
that way for a century and it ain't going to ever change.
for sure, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I like it. It's very old school.
super old school handshakes in person. And I've always gotten the sense, and I applied to one skydiving position once and I missed it by about a week. And I
Oh,
saw the boss look at me and went, oh, if you were only here a week earlier, because I got the
yeah,
feeling like he actually liked me more than the guy he hired.
for sure,
Um,
yeah,
but it seems to me that it's really a pastime and a fun time that happens to involve an airplane. Like you cannot be a super buttoned down, super serious. I am TIC. Blah, 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 blah. You can't be
right.
that guy. You got to
No,
be fun guy.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. You have to. It's a very skydivers are super chill, and there's a certain lackadaisical thing about them, and obviously adrenaline junkies, going
Right.
up. So you have to meet them at their level and bring the stoke with you as well. Not so much that you take it away from the instructors, because that's what they're there to get paid for and get tips. So you don't want to overdo them too much. But yeah,
Yeah.
I totally
Oh,
agree.
that's an interesting hierarchy to understand. Yeah, you can't
Uh,
outshadow. It's like the drummer outshadowing the singer. You can't.
yeah,
No, no, no. You can't
yeah,
do that.
exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's. I tell you, treasure trove of information. Um,
Yeah.
that's really great. Well, I'm just so thrilled for you because you did it
Thank you.
right. Clearly, the results have shown that you've done it
Yeah,
right. And
absolutely. Thank you.
You just got to be persistent. I've always thought once a week is maybe a little too much, but you've just shown I was wrong. So, you know,
Yeah,
do
I
what,
mean,
suss it out, you know?
yeah, totally. Yeah, you got to feel it out. And I mean, he would also call me as well. And, he'd be like, hey, nothing this week, I just want to keep you in mind. Like, I'm not forgotten about you, which was really
Oh,
nice, which he didn't have to do.
yeah.
So super cool, dude, for doing that. And just, yeah, I owe a lot of my future to my boss that hired me on for skydiving. So, and I love it. It's a great job. It's a great job.
I had a friend who got into it, and I don't know if he's ever left. He's just found bigger companies with bigger machines.
Yeah.
But he's just a fun guy. He's always got a smile on his face. Always.
Yeah.
People are drawn to him. Oh, this is so great to hear because there is often this thing that the business is a closed system. It's an old boys club, but
Mm.
if you fly a 182, you're not going to have high time captains applying. So you're going to have to find those new pilots that you like. And clearly, he was in a recruiting mindset too, where he's just, I like this guy. I don't want to lose him to somewhere else. So let's just kind of keep things warm, keep the relationship going. So when the time
Yeah.
is right, I don't have to put a job ad out. This is why job
Yeah.
ads are. You just
Totally.
go after
Yeah.
the company you want and just pester them.
Yeah, absolutely. And being local helps too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm split between the two differences of where the locations are, which is really handy. So I mean, my best advice for anyone would be if you are local and you know your local airport, try and become friendly with anyone there, and just let them know that you're local as well. Because my boss is constantly getting applications from the East Coast, just people saying, "I'll move out there and sleep in a tent on the airport or whatever." It's just crazy. But he like you say, a lot of people like in-house guys that are local and want to get to know you.
That's really great because that local knowledge is everything. Because when you're going to inevitably chat to the skydivers, and they're going to want to talk to you about
Yeah.
just local stuff.
Yeah.
Pays off. And have you ever worked for anything as hard as this in your life?
No, this is by far the biggest brain energy that I've had to use in my entire life. Is a lot, and I know it might not seem a lot to a lot of people, but you are thinking about an awful lot.
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, people just say, "Oh, you're just flying in a circle," but like you say, there's the engine management, and then we're performing a bunch of maneuvers up top over the airport, especially slow flight, and then we have to, it's called a slip and dip to get the door to come down, and that can be kind of dangerous sometimes. So, yeah, it's a lot of concentration, and especially, when we're coming in, we have a lot of people at our NorCal location that are in the doing pattern work for school.
Okay.
So I'm constantly having to look out for other airplanes as well, obviously in the pattern, which can be quite tricky when you're trying to get down for the next load to take back up, and it's a finite thing that you have to look out for in terms of time management. So yeah,
there are no easy single pilot jobs. Like it's all on you. You got to manage the cockpit, manage the engine. I mean, just being able to climb and just nail you're right above the airport, that is a lot of planning.
Yeah.
And then to come down. So yeah, I've when I hear that's just the skydive position, up and down.
Yeah,
but
right.
So much more to it. So this is really great. Well, again, one last thing, just pay, not specifics, but is it by the day, by the jump, by Hobbs time? How do you get paid?
Yeah, it's by the jump. So, I mean, I think the standard is about $25 per jump if it's a tandem, and then 15 if it's the fun jumpers, because they don't make as much money on the fun jumpers. So, yeah. So usually, like I said, if it's an eight jump day, that's great. But if you're just going in for the one jump for the one day, then you've just made your gas money, which is still great. You're still getting time, and you be at the airport. And those are the days that, again, that's why I wanted to lead into with you and talk about networking. Is like, even if you're just going down there for one or two, don't just leave straight away. Like, hang out with the FBO, get to know the FBO guys. A lot of, like I was saying at the start, I'm an SIC contract pilot now. A lot of those gigs came up from knowing someone at the FBO, and you never know what can happen. So Yeah.
You can't, all you can plan for is yourself. So that's all you can. But the phone's going to ring, but you cannot guess where it's going to ring from.
Right.
And the thing I also find about networking is a lot of people kind of misunderstand how this is. Like, you actually have to like the people you want to talk to. Like, you actually have
Yeah.
to like people. Like, because
Yeah.
people will suss out right away if, like, hey, nice to meet you. Can I fly your airplane?
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
come on.
Yeah.
Like,
You can't just jump straight in.
it's like, guys,
Yeah.
it's very similar to dating. You got to
Yeah.
just get to know them, just take your time, don't rush. You know, it's amazing what, hey guys, I got donuts and coffee. Like, boy, it's
Yeah.
the currency in aviation. And
So,
just
yeah.
do it because you're just a generous person.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
the Buddhists figured this out 4,000 years ago, which was whatever you put out in the world is going to come back to you tenfold. So if you put out generosity, it's going to come back to you.
Yep.
You know,
I would
you know, and so it's so, the game is so simple. It's just the execution that takes some time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people get caught up on, is that execution. They feel like they're not getting anywhere, but you will, if you just continue, you will get there.
And, you know, I like hanging out at small airports. It's where the fun is, you know, like,
yeah,
some guys working on a CB, like, why on earth would you buy a CB? But he's loving every minute of it. Like, God bless him. Hell, I'll even take some inspection panels off for you if you need to look at something. It's just, they're fun places to hang out at. I mean, and if you don't like doing that, maybe this isn't for you. That's one thing I've definitely noticed is if you don't want to work on the ground, you know, around aircraft, it's probably not for you, because you're going to have to do this a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so right. Yeah.
Well, sure. Rory, I'm just so thrilled for you. It's so exciting to see someone who's figured it out.
And thank you very much.
You know, hustled and worked hard, and, you know, it's the fruits of your labor. So what you've put into it, you're getting out of it. So
thank you.
So happy for you. Stay in touch, and
will do.
Keep me updated. I want to hear everything.
Yeah, I will. And thank you to you too for all the information you put out to all people like us, and it really does help. So we appreciate the content.
The next generation is going to come out no matter what. So hopefully I can throw a couple of pearls of wisdom out there. Avoid some of the mistakes I've made.
Nice. I love it.
All right. Well, hopefully talk to you soon.
Yeah. Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rory.
Cheers.